All right, so today we're going to talk about our Empresario system and major people that were impresarios and led to the colonization of Texas. We're going to talk about what an impresario is, um, major people, and kind of what they were able to do during their time period. Now, the first thing we got to do, we got to define what is an impresario. So, an impresario, this is an agent that makes arrangements to bring settlers from another place to create a colony. So, in this case, we're talking about settlers coming from Missouri, Virginia, other parts of the United States into Mexico held Texas and creating their own colony. So we're going to see a big change. We're going to transition people from the United States into Mexican held Texas, and they're going to create their own law system. They're going to try to, but they have to follow the laws of Mexico at the same time. They're going to try to merge the ways that we do things in America with the way things happen in Mexico. Now, the first person to do this was a guy named Moses Austin. He approached the Spanish government to bring in families from the United States to Spanish held Texas. And he got permission to bring in 300 families from Missouri to Texas. Now, he gained his permission around 1820. And before he was able to bring those people in, he passed away and was never able to actually bring in any settlers into the state of Texas. But he was the one who opened the door. He sat and visited with Spain, and he got the permission. And once he returned and passed away, his son Stephen F. Austin, who we'll talk about in a second, was trying to also pull in settlers to this area. His problem was he had to deal with a whole different government, because if you notice the year 1820, it's the start of the Mexican Revolution to overthrow Spanish rule. Now, the next person that we have, sorry, my pages are all stuck together, is Stephen F. Austin. And he creates an establishment of the Austin colony. Now, he's going to be Moses' son, and he begins the process of bringing in families to Texas. However, the Mexican independence movement meant he had to work with the new Mexican government instead of the Spanish government. In 1821, he was able to bring in what was called the Old 300 into central Texas. This is going to be closer to present day Bryan College Station and moving northwards. It's going to be in the Brazos Valley, where lots of greenery, lots of water access. Stephen F. Austin is able to profit off each family. Each family came into Texas and received large land grants, which means land that they got to pay for to get into Texas. Now, what he ended up doing is each family that came in had to pay a price of like $300 for their land. What he would do is he would get $200 for Mexico, so that would leave $100 left, and that would go to Stephen F. Austin. And so he was able to make profits off each family as they came in. Also, what he would have to do is ensure the rights of the Anglo settlers and make sure they were well represented. With Mexico, they wanted to make sure everybody was taken care of and represented inside their new republic, and they wanted to make sure everybody had rights. The new settlers had to follow the rights and rules of Mexico. Now, another person that we have is Erasmo Seguin. He's a Tejano, which means he's a Mexican-born citizen that lived inside of Texas. And he was a rancher who represented Texas at the Mexican Constitutional Convention of 1824. Sorry, that should be in 1824. He also assisted in locating the land of Austin's colony. He helped Stephen F. Austin find which land would be best and go out and find it for him. And finally, the other major people we have are Martin de Leon, who was a Mexican impresario who settled 200 families in South Texas between La Vaca and Guadalupe River. So we're talking about down here down in South Texas, close to Mexico. Texas. So we're going to be in this area. He and his wife are going to found the town of Victoria. And then the last impresario we're going to talk about is Green DeWitt, who is an important impresario who settled 166 families in the area near present-day Gonzales in 1831. So these are our impresarios that we need to know to make sure that we have all the information we need.